Hi, welcome to Ladydel Kitchen Talk, where we'll be discussing having confidence in yourself or lack of confidence. And our subject is, do you feel pretty? A lot of times in life we go through and people suffer for lack of confidence. That kind of dictate the type of life they live, that may limit them. And today, usually I'm in the kitchen cooking, but today I've already cooked. We're eating, and I'm going to introduce the panel so we can get this started. So here we have Marlon, as some of you know from LVM. We have Lady Garth. We have Gigi over here, and we have Marvin, which is the other part of LVM that usually is not on the camera but behind the camera. So this topic is very important to me because as some of you know, with my weight loss journey and having friends that are overweight or underweight, or friends that are suffering from mental health, confidence is one of the key things that we have to always think about. Make sure that this confidence is in everything that we do, because it does determine how we view our lives, how we view ourselves. When we get up in the morning, we getting ready and getting dressed. When we look in the mirror, what do you really see? Do you see somebody that's strong? Do you see a successful day? Do you see somebody that's weak or been beaten down? And it's very, very dear to me, because even at my highest weight, I've always had confidence. I never had problems with dating, never had problems with working, traveling, because I believed in myself. And thank God that I had a beautiful mom. And like we were talking earlier, that as a young girl, she would always tell me, Della, just because you're overweight, that does not mean that the image, you treat yourself any different. Fix yourself up, make yourself feel good. And it's all about grooming your child or grooming yourself in confidence. Just having that affirmation about yourself when you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror. I am good. I am wonderful. I'm beautiful. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm not going to hog up all the time because, as you can tell, I'm starting to really, really get choked up about it. So I looked up the definition of confidence. And it came back, some really amazing things that how confidence is defined. One dictionary says, a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own ability and qualities. Another definition says belief in oneself or having faith in oneself. The last one I saw that was really good it said presence of mind. That is where it starts from.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
I agree. I believe that it starts in your mindset. It's whatever you believe. Because if you believe less of yourself, you'll think less of yourself. You'll treat yourself less.
Right.
And you'll allow other people to treat you less than what you are. So it's all in the mindset and how you believe in yourself and love yourself.
Yes.
And also getting a good support team and always getting somewhere that you can find yourself in a good space. No matter where it's home or with friends, family, or a caregiver. So just always find yourself in a good space.
Yeah, that is true, because that support team around you, like I mentioned about my mom. What if I had a mother that said, "You're nothing. You're too fat. You're too this, and why don't you be like?" I know my sister had one of her friends. Her mom would tell her friend, "Won't you be like?" I'm not gonna say my sister's name. Like, I want to release that. "Won't you be like her?" You don't tell your child to be like somebody else, and that's the beginning, of stripping away one's confidence, it starts
Because you're telling them they're not good enough.
Exactly.
And because you're not good enough, she's good enough. And I need for you to be like her. So that just takes something from you. It's stripping them away. And a lot of times that's how you start getting broken down even as a toddler.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're starting there, imagine it's just being built upon. If you're around negative people putting that in your mindset, you're being broken down before they can be built up. You could build up.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
it can also happen within a family, in the family dynamic. So I remember growing up, we were the only twins in the family at that time, and we were surrounded by a whole bunch of cousins. It's a lot of us, and it seemed like every time we come around to family events, there was the older adults that said, "Oh, the twins are here. We want to take the twins on. I pay $1 million to have the twins to come spend the night at the house." And you get that the other cousins that would have this envy,
Yeah.
and they beat you down and call you names. And I grew up going to high school thinking that everybody was judging me or walking the halls with my head down. And so it can start at an early child.
Yeah, isn't it something? Because now the parents have put into your cousins, that these are special,
Right.
Young men. So of course, naturally, they're gonna resent,
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's bringing on resentments, and of course, where's the resentments gonna go to? Right back to
Right.
you guys.
Yes,
So it comes
absolutely.
a full circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
All because of parent, and they not meant any harm.
No, they
Right.
didn't.
It's just that it's just a part of that
Misplacement.
misplacement.
Yeah, and
Perfect.
all of
That's
wanted to,
perfect word for it.
right, have that validation by the older adults, and
Mm-hmm.
to have the twins come in and everything is focused on the twins, they make them feel a certain way.
Right.
And I used to hate going to family gatherings because I knew that, it will always be some attention on the twins.
Mm-hmm.
And it was tough growing up with a big family.
Right. And that kind of leads into my next question is, do you guys think it's really gender specific? Do you think, you were twin boys, do you think twin girls would have been treated like that, or maybe so in that instance, but do you think women more than men suffer from a lack of confidence?
I think it's an equal thing. If you're constantly being told a certain way and you act a certain way or do a certain thing, or any type of criticism, whether it's negative, it's always going to affect one person.
I think it's harder on the girls because the girls are always being told you need to act like this, you need to do this, don't.
Carry yourself as a
So
lady
I think
and,
it's more tough on the ladies.
Yeah, I think that men have certain issues they deal with, but as women, the standard that we had before us is completely different. The bar is just so much higher. Whereas a man, if he just look nice, get a nice haircut, and just put on a nice suit, you're fine. With us, we got to have the whole
That's right.
package. Forget just how you look. What degree do you have? What do you drive? Do you have any kids? I mean, it's just so many criteria that we're faced with. And then when you don't meet that, then you get back into this sunken place. Well, I'm not good enough.
Right.
That's right.
And it's not that you're not good enough. Everyone have their list of standards.
That's right.
And that's where that confidence come in. What's good for you might not be good for me.
That's
You know,
right.
what works for you might not work for me. And a lot of time, because we uphold other people's standards, we need to have our own bar that we
Amen.
set. And when we set that bar, what somebody else think
Doesn't
means
matter.
nothing.
Doesn't matter.
I personally feel as though I have no control of what you think about me.
That's
Right.
right.
And that's not even my responsibility.
That's right.
That's on you.
That's on you.
So I never care about what someone thinks about me because that's on them. It's not my job to control that.
Preach, Lady
I
Gar.
can control what I think about and who think about
That
me.
is so
and
true.
when you wear that, that's all that matters.
And I
That's
think I
right.
got that more so as I gotten older. Now that I'm in my 40s, I
Yes.
don't think
Yes.
how I used to think back then. I can care less what someone thinks about me now. As long as I'm doing something that makes me happy,
Right.
you
have evolved.
Exactly. So I don't no longer walk with my head down and say, "Oh, I wonder what this person think about me. I wonder what they're saying about me."
So
And I think
how
it also
can
comes
one-
with age.
That's right.
So how can one evolve? How can you help that person evolve
That's a good question.
when you have when you don't have that support system, when you don't have that church support or that family support or even that friend support? Where can you get that comfort?
But you,
I think it's all about you,
Yeah.
and like we started out, your mind,
Yeah.
because it's only so much a person is going to be constantly beat down. And sometimes it's not the surrounding people that are beating you down, it's you.
A dog.
Yeah.
It's you
It's
that
also-
constantly
It's also, like you said, it's in your head.
is in your mind.
But if you in your head, you gotta put into your mind to where what you want to do and where you want to go.
That's right.
So if you don't put that in your head to where you want to go, what you want to do, or where you want to go, then you looking like, okay, it's me.
It's you.
Yeah, and
And
you're
it come
lost.
down to we can be our own worst
Yes.
enemy.
Yes.
Right.
No one can beat you down like you can.
Right.
You know, to the
Because you
point
don't-
you're sitting
right.
up here, you getting dressed and you're looking so good, but to you, you look a mess. I'm
Yes.
trying to get somebody else looking like, oh girl, you look so good.
Right.
No, I don't. It's like no matter what, we can beat ourselves down.
Mhm. Right.
And why?
Why?
Why? Because a lot of times we don't know our worth,
Right.
and when you don't know your worth,
Right.
Amen.
you allow anything
and
to be put
everything.
into your psyche, and even be putting into yourself
Right.
or your parents. And don't get me wrong, I had a very good, loving mother. But some young ladies and young men are not that fortunate, and they have more abuse coming in from their parents with giving them that lack of confidence. You know, because you don't look like your sister.
Right.
That's
Or you,
true.
you know, or I like your sister's father, and I don't like your father, and you look like your daddy, so I don't like you. And when you put that into someone's
child,
mindset,
That's right.
these little people grow up to be old people.
Yes.
These little angry people
they
end up
carry
being
it.
old, angry people.
That's
and
right.
it's just pass it on. And you can pass on that negativity. So, yeah.
And to answer your question, my answer is a combination of what you both said. You do have to, and I think you said too, you have to know your worth. So even if you don't have that support person, you don't have that family that we've had, because my auntie told me that years ago, my auntie Georgia, she sat me down, she said, baby, know your worth.
Yeah.
And so I had strong ones around me to guide me, to mold me. And you're right, some people don't.
Yeah.
So they have to take it upon themselves.
Right.
One, know your worth. Wake up in the morning, say an affirmation. I am strong. I am confident. I'm successful. I'm beautiful. You know,
Self-love. It's
no
self-love.
weapon formed against me shall prosper.
It's self-love.
You know, ignore all this negativeness around me. Sometimes you get so into this negative and this place of not having confidence that you surround your people around you with negative. So the people that you put yourself around, they're negative.
Right.
Yes.
So you have to get out
Know
of
your
that
circle. Know your circle.
and know your circle. You know, because like you said, everybody doesn't have that wonderful support that we had. We had loving mothers, we had loving aunties and uncles,
Yeah.
and that is so important. You know, it's you know, it's know your worth. I thought about my auntie Georgia. She used to say that all the time. So you don't think men suffer for lack of confidence?
Oh,
Yeah,
we do.
they do.
We do.
Men are judged all the time from
How much
physique,
money you make,
how much
what
money
car you
make.
drive, what's your educational background.
Do you think the rejection of relationships tampered with you guys' confidence? I know someone right now, just incredible guy, but I think rejection has really tampered with his confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And what do a guy do?
it's prayer for one, and keep yourself out there. You know, keep yourself going, keep motivating yourself. You're gonna run through a lot of bumps and roads as a man,
True.
especially as a black man. Career-wise, relationship-wise, you're gonna run into some bumpy roads. But the thing is how you get up from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah. How you
And
recover.
again, how you know your self-worth. You know, not everybody gonna like you.
That's true.
You know, you just have to know your self-worth. And rejection is a part of life. So you keep
Yeah.
moving just like any other person. You know.
Doors will close and doors will always open.
Yeah.
And you have to close some doors
Yes.
and open some doors.
Yes.
I know a few years ago, I prayed for the Lord to remove all the toxic people out of my life. And that meant some friends and family. And I was okay with that because it was not doing anything to build me up. sometimes a relationship can be so draining,
and more like pull you
and it's
down
pulling you
too.
down. What is it bringing to you?
Right.
What is it bringing to the table? So if you're not doing anything to compliment me, to bring me up, me to be able to build you up, so that's where we come in at far as sisters and brothers. Sister to sister, we should be building each other up,
Yes,
not tearing each other down. And that's what happens.
And there was a point after our performance, we had a couple of friends that called, and this one particular person called, and he had everything to say about the performance that was negative. And I stopped him right there. And I said, listen, if you don't have anything positive to say or what you think that we should have done differently, then I don't want to hear it.
That's
You know, and I began to push that person further away from me. Because I'm at the point in my life, if you are not speaking life into
That's right.
my body, I don't need you in my life. You know, and we like you all said, we beat ourselves down so much. It comes a time in your life where you say, no, I'm not
You
going to
have to
take
stand
this
up for
anymore.
yourself.
You know, no, I will not let you speak to me.
That's
I will
right.
not give you that permission to speak to me in that tone.
You take back
So
the power.
exactly.
You take back
So
the
you do
power.
have to move negative people out your life.
Right.
If they're not going to speak word into you,
That's
it's
right.
not worth it.
Yep.
So yeah.
That was nice.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So as a child, we have confidence if we have those support people that nurture us. But sometimes even then, it leaves.
Right.
Why do you think all of a sudden, even though you had someone there to speak life into you as a child and to tell you you're a wonderful child and you can do this and you can do that,
Right.
do you think it's just life that sometimes beat people down to where they just, accept all the negativeness?
Well, for one, we're not in a bubble. So we have to leave up under that wing that we were up under that was giving us that confidence. But once you get into the real world, life
Yeah.
is not a bed of roses.
It's
You
not.
know, a lot of times, you're dealing with all different types of people and you're dealing with their baggage and their situation and their negativity and their thoughts and opinions of you. And a lot of times you got to deal with all that. And you still try to think about what your mother said. You're beautiful,
right.
you're this. But then you done met this man and he said you're not beautiful, you're not this. And so
Right.
you're struggling. And you have to realize who I turn to, who I believe in. And that's when you got to lean. I guess I go to a spiritual place where you lean on God and say, okay,
Yes.
what do you want me to do? And everything that I do, I have to go to him because otherwise, me going by myself, I'm going to mess it up.
That's
I
right.
might just go because that man look good to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and go, but that's not what's good for me.
Right.
So I need to be directed into the right place because a lot of times when you start turning to other people, like I said earlier, their baggage, you don't have to pick it up. But we tend to pick up everybody's baggage and their opinions on us, and then we carry it around. And now we walk around with our backs hurting because we carrying everybody else's opinions and baggage about
On your
us, and
shoulder.
we humped over.
Exactly.